So we've got more transfer talk incoming, and news have been coming in pretty thick and fast. The season is coming to an end, and you can expect that transfer talk is going to, come in at a very quick rate now. And there's talk of, teams wanting to do their business early because of the Club World Cup and whatnot. So we can expect fast pace, transfer action. And on that note, we'll be discussing some of the, trending transfer talk over the past week. And first off, Victor, news are now, several news outlets are now saying that United are in a strong position to sign Cunha from Wolves. And in fact, the player has made United is top priority. I don't know why. I don't know why he did that anyways. But yeah, fair enough. And United are ready to sacrifice Garnacho to make that happen. So the question, Victor, do you think Cunha is exactly what they need as United plan a squad rebuild for the summer?
My problem with this is because how many times over the years have we looked at a rumor or even a confirmed Man United transfer, and their fan base is ecstatic about it, and it turns out to flop badly, even though
Yeah.
it was built as exactly what they need for a squad rebuild. I mean, Anthony, Sancho, Onana, Mkhitaryan, Van de Beek, that's a blast from the past, right? Lukaku, Di Maria, Sanchez. I could go on and on. Squad rebuilders know what they need to do first. What they need to do first is put up a scouting department, a transfers department with people who know what the hell they're doing. Personally, I would stay away from that, but perhaps he's a fan and you can't fault him for that. As far as squad rebuild around Cunha, I doubt it. I have doubts about his character as well, and I don't think he's what's needed.
Mm, fair point. Fair point. And over to you, Max. Last time in our transfer video, we mentioned that Kevin De Bruyne, was open to staying in the Premier League if he got any reasonable offer. And now reports are saying Aston Villa have held talks with the City man over a potential move. In your opinion, is that a reasonable decision or not?
Well, I saw him saying that he's still capable of playing a good Premier League team, and also I feel like that Aston Villa is pretty fine for him at the moment of his career. But I'm not sure if he's really going to Aston Villa because he's turning a solid age and probably he wanna still play in UCL. So I personally feel like if Aston Villa are not managing top five, he's probably not coming.
Mm, fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine him playing on Thursdays?
Well, Ronaldo once did it, so who knows? Stranger things have happened.
Yeah,
I think there's
at least
levels
at
to this.
Wolfsburg.
Yeah. So moving forward, Victor. So following up on what we are saying, actually, Rashford actually has come out to say he wants to play Champions League football next season. And at the same time, Tottenham are trying to hijack Aston Villa's deal for the Manchester United man. It is already certain that he is leaving United. Aston Villa want to sign him permanently, and Tottenham are now also trying to sign him. Which club do you think is more suitable for him, especially since he wants Champions League football? And Tottenham do have a chance if they win the Europa League.
I mean, obviously Villa, hands down. It's the better run side with a great manager who has already shown he can get good performances out of Rashford. The big question is if this interest is genuine and if both sides can afford him. Uh, yeah, let's not forget Spurs have their difficulties financially because of the stadium and their performances are not bringing in as much money as back when Pochettino was there, for instance. But if both can afford them and Villa don't make top five, but Spurs get into the Champions League by winning the Europa League, that's when things get interesting. Um, he might end up choosing Spurs if that scenario comes to pass. Because if you think about it, he's turning 28 in October. Do you reckon he's willing to sit out of the Champions League for another year? That's the question.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. And yeah, moving on now, Max. Spurs are actually considering Scott Parker, to replace Postecoglou. And now the reports are even saying that regardless of whether they go on to win the Europa League, they are still, probably going to give him the sack, which is strange and also not strange at the same time. But what are your thoughts on that?
I'd say it's a awful decision, at least because this is the not the coach of high tier who can manage to go Champions League what Tottenham wants 100%. This is the guy who can bring team from Championship to Premier League and probably save it there. Okay, if Spurs are scared of relegation, probably they can sign him, but no, I feel it's a bad decision.
Yeah, Victor, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. Scott Parker is not a Prem coach. Scott Parker is the coach to get you to the Prem and then ensure you lose 9-0 to Liverpool. I think he doesn't have enough experience in the top division. Um, he has done terribly with Fulham, with Bournemouth, especially in Bournemouth's case, it was not entirely his fault, but I think any team, any bigger team looking at him and considering bringing him in should wait at least for a full season, see if he manages to not implode in his first season in the Prem, and then consider bringing him in. Then again, it's Tottenham. They have a history of jumping the gun with managers. I wouldn't be too surprised if they appoint him in June and sack him in January.
Yeah, I mean it's Spurs anyways. That's probably their nature. But yeah, moving on, Victor, still with you. Chelsea are in pole position to sign Dean Hodgson on Bournemouth, and it's not a bad deal when you look at it because he has impressed. The 20-year-old has been a very very top signing since he joined Bournemouth. But the question is, Bournemouth are putting a 50 million pounds price tag on him, and do you think Chelsea should be spending 50 million pounds on yet another young defender that is not exactly world class, especially given that they've spent 1 billion in the past 2 seasons, but they don't have any world class signing to show for all of that?
I mean, from a PSR perspective, probably should Chelsea should not be signing anyone. Period. They cut it really close last summer, right, with PSR compliance, and they'll probably
Yeah.
do it again this year. And don't get me wrong, Hoyson is a great talent. He's got a very high ceiling. He's most likely got a big future in the game. But there are other clubs in more need of defensive reinforcements who might convince him before Chelsea get to like scrape together their petty cash and see if they can bring him in. Arsenal are looking at him. Real Madrid are really looking at him, and they really need a proper defender this summer. Rudiger is not getting any younger. Alaba is not getting any younger. Eder Militao's luck with injury has been terrible. Then there's Liverpool. Arne Slot, he doesn't really trust Gerald Quansah alongside Van Dijk. Konate's contract is an issue at the moment. Joe Gomez is probably the unluckiest or in top five unluckiest players in Liverpool's history. So they might also be in the mix for Hoyson. It sounds crazy, but 50 million pounds is somewhat reasonable nowadays. And I'm not sure Chelsea can afford it.
Mm, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. And just on a final note, the big four side, Arsenal, United. I mean, that's me being gracious, Max, by including United. Yeah, but yeah, Arsenal, United,
For old
Liverpool, and
time's
Chelsea.
sake.
Yeah, for old time's sake. Arsenal, United, Liverpool, and Chelsea are actually interested in signing Usman Dembele from PSG. The reports say Dembele is open to a new challenge and possibly playing in the Premier League. So, Victor, just a quick one. In your opinion, which of these four clubs is the ideal destination for Dembele?
Well, obviously not United. I would say Chelsea. I think there he has the the best potential number of minutes to play with Chelsea. Arsenal have Saka, and I don't think, unless he's injured, I don't think anyone's displacing him on the right wing. Liverpool, same with Salah. United, I think, is not a good choice for any top player right now, so that leaves Chelsea.
Max, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking as well that he's not gonna go to United because we all know how their wingers play when they move to a team. Look at Anthony. So yeah, uh, yeah, I'd say out of these four, Chelsea is the perfect decision.
Okay. But in my my opinion, though, I think Arsenal could give him as much minutes as Chelsea. He doesn't have to play on the right. He could play on the left. Dembele is actually
Actually,
good
he
with
was
both
playing
feet.
in the middle this season. Well, shown good
Yeah,
numbers.
exactly. And he can, and at several times he has played on the left, even for Barca, and over the years he can shine. He can shine on the left as well. And Arsenal are still in talks for a left winger because it's obvious that Arteta does not trust Martinelli and Trossard enough, and which is why Arsenal have been interested in Nico Williams. But I
Yeah.
mean, if someone like Dembele is free on the market and he can play on the left, I mean, why not? If you ask me, but yeah,
I feel like
logically,
I
yeah, go on.
sorry sorry
Yeah,
to
sure.
interrupt. I was just gonna say yes, he can play on the left and he does a damn good job. But the problem is playing there consistently. It's not that he couldn't do it, but I think it's a waste of his talents. He's
Yeah,
much
he's
better suited
obviously
to the right.
he's obviously more later on the right, obviously. Yeah, so logically, Chelsea might be the best. But also like United, honestly, I think Chelsea would also limit his potential. I mean, look at Pedro Neto these days. He's
Yeah.
looking like an average player compared to what he was at Wolves. So I don't know. Chelsea
But do
might
you
be the
think
best
for
just for minutes.
do you think for Arsenal that would be your title winning signing?
He could as well be, because if you add if you could give something close to an Alexis Sanchez kind of Alexis Sanchez kind of impact, somebody lethal and dangerous as Saka, on the other flank, Saka dangerous on the right, then Dembele dangerous on the left. Even with Kai Havertz, I promise you that would be a game changer for us now. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but
Okay.
we just
don't
have
you
to.
think then can if he's going not to play on the right side and play middle or left side, he'll probably pick Liverpool instead of Arsenal.
Mm. I don't think Slot will
True.
put Dembele in the middle. Slot Liverpool generally are known to have energetic, mobile people in the middle of the park. That's what Liverpool are usually known for. So they will
Yeah.
go for the most athletic guys out there, and not someone with flashy brilliance and whatnot. So I don't think Liverpool would go for Dembele anyways. If Salah were to be leaving, then Liverpool would have been the perfect destination for him. But with Salah staying back, and I don't see
Even
that
then, I don't think it would happen because Dembele isn't a signing for the future. Dembele is a signing for the now.
now. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see how everything unfolds. One thing is looking certain: the transfer window this summer is going to be pretty interesting, and we'll see some blockbuster deals. And of course, we at EPL News will be here to discuss, give our ratings, and touch ground on all of the transfer news happening across the Premier League.